What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Upswing Report. If you haven't been here, welcome. This channel is all about business, fashion, and lifestyle tips for those of us who are on the upswing in life. Always trying to improve, always try to achieve our potential. In this video, I'm going to give you some advice on the financial piece of things. If you are in your late teens or 20s, then this video is for you. As you know, money is important. You need money to eat. You need money to live. Yet people very often mishandle money. I was reading a stat the other day that 63% of Americans, if an emergency happened where they needed to get $500 in cash, that would cause them to go into debt. And that fact is honestly shocking. In this video, I'm not gonna be going over your 401k options, which credit card you should use, or how much money you should have in your bank account, because a lot of those things depend specifically on your situation. So the information in this video is a little bit high level, but it's very important for you to know. Money is very complex, but if you enjoyed this video and you think it was helpful, let me know in the comments and I'll do more in the future. But there's a great book that I read when I was in my mid-teens called The Richest Man in Babylon. And I'll put a link in the description to the Amazon listing, and I very much so recommend that you pick it up and read it. It's an interesting read, but also has a lot of great lessons in it. The first piece of money advice I have for you is it's not how much money you make, but rather it's how much money you keep. When it comes to money, this is one of the most important pieces of advice. It's really easy to look at other people and what they have, calling it keeping up with the Joneses, where, oh, that guy has this watch, or he's driving this kind of car, or she's living over here, or she just traveled over here. And that can cause you to get outside of your logical brain and get into your emotional brain and overspend more money than you have. And how I have combated this and not lived outside of my means and been able to save and invest money is to, what I like to call, develop a sucker-free mentality. When I see someone that I know how much money generally that they're making, let's say I know, they're working an hourly job or they're in school, and I see them driving this new lease of a car, they go shopping all the time, they eat out all the time, I have trained my mind to look at them, not really with a snobby look, but I have in my head that they're a sucker. Lord knows that I ain't no sucker. So if you train your mind at looking at people like that and being like, screw that, I'm not gonna be a sucker like that guy, because really they are suckers. The banks are looking at them, licking their chops and saying, okay, this guy's gonna, or this girl's gonna overspend on their credit card. They're gonna rack up 20+% interest rate on stupid consumer debt, and they're winning. So they're all about that. And I am not gonna be a sucker. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm gonna have not a consumer mentality, but I'm gonna have a producer mentality. So I encourage you to do the same. And it's pretty crazy because there are people that I know that are in a lot of consumer credit card debt that will have looked at me and told me, dude, you are way too frugal, and tried to spin it in a way where I'm not living how I should be living. I just turn it in my head and think, yeah, right, you're the one who's a sucker. I'm not gonna be a sucker, and I'm not gonna live my life paycheck to paycheck or getting more snowballed into debt. Screw that. Definitely have that sucker-free mentality. All right, and the second piece of advice is don't save just for the sake of saving, but save for the sake of investing. I'm not gonna go into the details here, but if you have $100 in your bank account, because of inflation, that next year it's gonna be worth less than $100. And the amount of interest that a bank gives you does not offset the inflation rate. So effectively, by you saving money, you're actually losing buying power. You'll be able to buy less and less as time goes on. If you're just trying to stockpile money and save it in your bank account, then you're not using the money in the best way possible. Yes, you should have money because, again, you need money to live. But if you're saving money, you should have your mindset thinking through, okay, what can I put this money to use for, to help work for me, to bring in more money? But that being said, you can't be trigger happy with your investments. Charlie Munger, who is the right-hand man to Warren Buffett, one of the richest men and one of the arguably the most successful investor in the history of the world. And he had this analogy that said, imagine if you have a punch card that has 15 different little punch holes, and you only get 15 shots. And every time you do an investment, you have one hole punched. So the idea here is you don't have to swing at everything that looks like a potential investment. Hold your money, make sure you're building that wealth so that when you do see an easy great investment that is completely obvious to you, then you pull the trigger. But don't be investing in everything that comes across your way. But because you're watching this video, you're probably, again, a late teen or somebody in their 20s. You might not have a ton of extra capital. So just focus on saving money at this point, but not just to save. Again, you're saving that money to invest. And in the meantime, I think something to look into for one of those potential punch holes, especially as a younger investor, is an index fund. I'm not gonna get into a bunch of details as to what an indexed fund is. I'll leave a link in the description to a video that kind of explains it a little bit easier. But practically, if you're investing in an index fund, you're investing in the American economy, which is a pretty darn good investment. And last, I just want to throw in there, compound interest is your friend. I'll also link to a video on compound interest. And you need to make sure, because you're younger, that you're utilizing these things so that that money will come in down the road so that you can help out yourself, you can help out your friends, and you can help out your family. The last piece of money advice I have for you is to not focus on the money, but focus on your happiness and your purpose. Some people say that if you focus on money, that's one of the most sure ways not to get rich. I want to add to that it's not only gonna decrease your chances of financial success, but it's also going to increase your chances of stress related to money and tying your purpose and your worth into what you have or what you don't have. In my life, personally, I have struggled with that, where I find my value and my worth into the kind of businesses that I have, the money in my bank account, and I just feel like I've broken through that, thankfully, and it's just not a good place to be in. It made me personally super irritable, always looking about the future, never being present, and just, it's not a good place to live in. And so I would encourage you to really look at inside yourself and uncover what makes you happy, what are your specific gifts, and what's your purpose that you have, so that you can go after that, and the numbers will follow. But if you're just chasing the money, it's just a sure way to, again, diminish your chances of success, and also, again, you're gonna have a suckier life. So screw that. Make sure that you're not focusing on the money. All right, so that is it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. Money is a very complex subject, so if you want me to do more of these money videos, let me know in the comments below, and it'll give me an idea whether or not you guys are feeling these type of videos. All right, I will see you in the next one.